Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the home of original sports perspective, from our couch to yours. This is your Couch Rider Raven, and on time. He's ready, the legendary Kam Ru, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back.
My boy is back in the building.
Yes.
Boy's eating. I'm back on my game.
Yeah, you back on the eating game, you know.
He's here.
It's so good to be back. Cameron is
in the building. What's good, man? What's good, brother?
What's
my
good?
boy came in the back. My boy came in the back. I hear his voice.
Cameron, come here.
You see how big you got, sir?
Watch the cable.
What's up, sir? Well, you got a little taller there.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
A little height on him, huh?
Just a little bit, you know, a little bit. I think it's mostly the hair.
It's all good, man.
Man, all right, head on back to bed, buddy.
Okay. Relax, bro.
Let's see who we got in the room here. We got a couple people here already, man. We got Delicious is here.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. So it said, "What's up, Couch Rider and Cam? Let's go, yes, sir."
Mm-hmm.
Brooke is on time. Look at that! Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't believe it.
Wow.
We don't hate Brooke. What are you talking about?
We love Brooke.
We love Brooke.
We love Brooke.
Oh my goodness! Hey, welcome back home, man. You know it is really good to be home. Cameron, back, Scoop.
I gotta get my food in as usual.
That's all good. Brooke says, I squealed when that notification popped up. Yeah, I was pretty Look, I gotta get back. I had to, tell the wife, like, hey, look, honey, you mind if I do a show tonight? Because, we've been back, I'm getting phone calls. People are like, yo, you've been back a week. I'm like, I've been back a week. It was like an interpretation. Yes. Yes, Brooke, he doesn't hate you. I don't know where he got we hate Brooke from, but we love Brooke around here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kimberly says, hey, it's been a while. Good to see you.
Yes.
I'm going to hunt you down in Detroit, Brooke.
What are you talking about? What is Cam talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about, man. He on some stuff right now. All right, so let's see. Brooke says, Cam still eating. Yeah, you still eating for sure.
You ain't beat me yet, bro. Yeah, y'all here. Somebody got to cook.
I got to feed him. Somebody got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hey, so, before we even get started, I just want to let y'all know, I just got back from a 6-month deployment. I think I served maybe 4.5 of that because I was, basically replacing somebody else. It was an amazing experience. I got to meet so many awesome people over there. It was just, just being out there, being part of the mission, serving this wonderful country. It was just such a great experience, just out there doing things. Of course, I still brought my gummies and potato chips and all my junk food with me.
That's all.
But
showing the video, showing the picture of you on the camera. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't upload the camera ones, but I did meet some pretty interesting people. Here's one. If I recognize
that. That's what's up.
Yeah, so then there's of course Jay Glazer. Yeah, you might recognize that guy right there.
Yep.
And Howie.
Oh, good money.
Yes, sir. And let's see. There's one more in here that was pretty cool. Oh, this guy. I tried to give him I was like, hey, I need you to give me those shoes. I need those shoes. He didn't want to give up the shoes. That's okay. I got my own little special pair of shoes. If y'all been checking the Facebook timeline, you know what's up. Got the spiky shoes out there. Just kind of give you an idea of where I was sleeping. This was my bed for the last 6 months.
That's a cot?
Yeah, it's a regular bed. It's a regular bed, but it's not as comfortable, and uh,
The
it's
house, I understand.
it's not home. It's not home. I can tell you that much. Yeah, but the rooms were kind of cold because I don't know, it was really hot out there, so they had the rooms like extra freezing cold in there.
Mm.
We had a pretty good team while we were over there, and this is my team when I was deployed. So we were part of a systems and readiness flight. So medical information systems, working on computers, and then the readiness mission is pretty much what puts everybody there on location. Above is my OIC. That's all we're gonna say about her. You know what they say. You ain't got nothing nice to say.
Oh no, don't do that. We here to celebrate. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So it's one of my teammates here down in the middle towards the left. That is my top notch systems teammate right there. Love her to death. All right, this is just some more of our team here at the Fox Sports Show. It's pretty cool to be hanging out there.
Put it in the middle right there. Tell her I said holler. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. I have to hit you up with her contact information. Yeah, but yeah, I was hanging out just in really cool places. Qatar is just such a beautiful, beautiful place to be. I mean, check this thing out right here.
What is that?
That is inside of a hotel, and I'll have to show you the video later. But basically, it's the top of the ceiling of one of the buildings inside of a beautiful hotel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just everything was just so set up, very nice.
Oh, that's hold on. That's the same location where they shot the scene for Warrior Nun, bro.
Okay.
That's one of the shots that I'm telling you because I'm looking at the background of the wall.
Okay.
That's the same place. Cause where were you at exactly?
This was down in. It's called the Souks inside Doha, Qatar.
I swear that's got to be it. There's no way in the world that they designed it. I mean, they could have. I don't want to say no way in the world, but that's the same. If you ever watch the show Warrior Nun on Netflix, in season 2,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's episode 1 or 2. It's set up the exact same way. I mean, they could have,
Yeah, I have to set up the. We'd have to do a stream or something like that so I can show you a video. Because I took a video of the entire room. I panned it.
Yes, sir.
Let's see here. Let's pay some of these bills here. See what else in this room.
Yeah.
Hey, my brother is in the building. He said, "Man, you didn't even wanted to come." He's like, "Man, you didn't even want to come back. I almost had a passport up." I wanted to come back. It was just there was some fun out there. Don't get me wrong. We was having some fun, but I'm definitely glad to be back on the show. KTSC, what's up, man? You changed your name on there. Okay, welcome back. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Let's see what she say. Brooke says, "You've been MIA. Cam neglected us while you were gone."
Hold up. I'm trying to keep it going.
He was on KTSC, Brooke. You had to jump over there for a bit.
I'm always gonna represent my boy. I'm trying to keep it going, and then on top of that, I'll wait till you done. I decided to start something which I still need Couch's help because I don't know how to put the intro on in the background. I started an interview show which I will be interviewing my boy here, Couch.
Yes, sir.
It's a little spinoff of what we doing here. It's called Chop It Up with Kam Ru. And I just want to go through like things that I love. Talk sports. Oh, y'all got that did them dirty. That did them dirty.
My boy Chap over there. We had to get him. That's a day.
I keep going. I'm sorry.
That's that day after Thanksgiving. We had to get him.
Got him good too. It's right after he got the itis strong.
That tryptophan, man, ain't no joke, man. You got that itis.
Yeah.
We had a good time over there. I definitely was hitting the gym while I was there. We was having fun. That was like
Mom's is moving. Mom's moving a little bit, sir. See, Mom's is moving. Yeah, you stop drinking all that soda.
Yeah, I had to get it, baby. I had to get look. I told you, I've been on a little bit of water though too. I've been on my water,
All right.
Yeah, somebody sent me a nice little GIF over there too. Just with the Baltimore Ravens little cup on there. I was like, all right, that's what's up. I'll be on my soda in the middle of the show still. I still gets it in. Still gets the soda in. Oh man. Well, shoot, let's get down to it, man. Let's see. We have the business as usual. That is not the business as usual anymore. G-Ro still here. Get over it. Oh, my bad. Never mind. G-Ro is gone. Oh my.
Yeah,
We'll get to that in just a second here.
yeah.
Oh man, I think we can probably just have a moment of silence. Just
Ah,
oh my gosh, it's so much happened while I was out. Just this craziness. All right, and it's we of course we go to our motivational moment. And I just want to say, when it comes to motivational moments, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. Nobody understands that more than us. We had plans this past year of taking this show to new heights. And then, of course, I get deployed and have to go to a whole new location to spend my time there. And I didn't have the bandwidth or the privacy to be able to do this show. But now we're back at it. And we're going to try to stay as consistent as possible with the show, and also still support Kam Ru's new show. And I want you to tell us a little bit about that as well. But just know that life happens, folks.
it's called Chop It Up with Kam Ru. Y'all can follow me, like and subscribe. I just did actually had the opportunity to interview. I just want to do interviews every now and then. May do like other things as far as but talking about the things that I love, like us talking about the Ravens. I want to interview people that I care about, like yourself, and the things that I love doing, like my acting, my music, um, training, health, fitness, beauty. I got a couple people lined up, like Couch. I'm gonna talk to Kareem McKenzie, former uh, New York Giant, New York Jet. I'm gonna talk to a couple of people in the health, in the personal training world. That's what I have lined up thus far. I had the opportunity to speak to one of my martial arts teachers. He was actually my first guest, which was fun. So I called it Chop It Up because I'm not going to sit up there and Big Reg, what up? I'm not going I'm not going to sit there and badger everybody and give them like a whole bunch of questions. I want to, we talk about it. I got a couple of questions for you, and after that, chop it up, man. You just have fun and we just talk, man, and enjoy each other, and let the world get to know you more, even more. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's what I want to do. I just thought it was another way to stay creative, other than me taking my acting classes and having an opportunity to be on here with Couch and doing other stuff. But I also, if it helps, if it gives somebody an opportunity to where they can be reached to, if they have something going on, whether it's um, if they bake cakes or if they're uh, a stylist or what have you. So I want to try to get all those people. Just try to get people in there. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So we
So
got to go. We got a donation. Big Red says glad to see us back.
Greg is getting on me.
Chris said, welcome back, and drops a 20 immediately. I appreciate you, my bro. That's awesome. And then Brooke saying she can't find your show, so I think she's looking for it right now.
Look for I get what it'll be under the channel name. It'll be all together. It's called it's the handle is Chop It Up with Kam Ru, but it's all together. And my name on Instagram and everything is Kam Ru, so it should be easy to find, bro. Get it together.
Well, shoot, let's get into it, man. I feel like yes, son. We'll get into that. This boy has been an entrepreneur since I've been gone. Apparently, he's been selling necklaces and everything else. So, apparently, a lot of things have changed since I've been out of pocket.
Okay.
One of the main things that have changed is, well, a couple of things that I was wrong about. And I'd like to just go ahead and own up to those things real quick. We'll just call this segment I Was Wrong. I was wrong. And you know what? There are a couple people out there who they put their chips on a different part of the table. I put my chips on the other side here on a different bet. And it came out the way it came out. The first one I want to admit to is the whole Giro thing. After the Denver game, I think that's when I lost hope. I lost hope when that offense looked so stagnant. It wasn't performing at all. Of course, Lamar gets hurt in the midst of whatever, but it just wasn't performing. They weren't doing well at all with that offense, and Giro was not having to go anywhere. I was willing to defend him all the last couple of seasons, but it just seemed like that was the epitome. That was it. That was hey, let's go ahead and throw this towel in. he didn't care too much more about this offense. And I think it was time for him to go right then and right there. But he's gone now. He's in the rearview mirror. Maybe Washington is going to be taking a look at this guy. He's got an interview. Who do you think? Well, we'll get into that in just a second. Let me get into the other thing that I was wrong about. James Prochet. James Prochet, man. I had such high aspirations, such high hopes for this guy during the regular season, during the preseason. And then he comes out and almost has more penalty yards than he does receiving yards. This man had, I think he had about, well, I guess in the start of the season, it was close to 5 penalties. 5 penalties for about 39 yards is what he ended up summing up as far as his yards for penalties. And then he just wasn't producing.
Right.
He was dropping passes, wasn't getting open. He was the first read. He just ended up being just not open or not available at that time. He didn't uncover, so Lamar usually had to look off of him to that next target. I thought he was going to be something great, and he was showing during camp. But of course, we've seen Chris Moore show flashes during camp, and then we saw how he turned out during the regular season. This situation, same as James Prochet. I made a bet with Lunch Break Hot Take, and it was an outrageous bet. I thought I was going to lose, but I thought he would get at least somewhere close to the numbers.
Right.
So I thought, he would probably, because I was thinking James Prochet was going to come and show up like a true number 2 receiver. But then, of course, once again, buried on the depth chart, not given those opportunities. But even when he was given those opportunities, he did not perform as everybody expected James Prochet to come and show up. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree with you. I'm sorry. I got to agree with you on majority of the stuff that you say on James, but at the same time, with the offense that we ran, man, it's just so difficult to judge any receiver. You still got to scheme people open, and nothing schemed up like passing wise. The passing scheme is horrible. So that's why I'm like, that was where Big Reg and I went back and forth. And I was like, you really don't know what you have in the pocket until you figure out how to put people out there the proper way. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
We do need a number 1 receiver.
We do.
We do need talent. That totally, I totally agree with. We didn't give Lamar nothing.
That's what kind of threw me off. I'm sitting here and at Lunch Break Hot Take, they kind of commented on my post today. Mm-hmm. So it was talking about like, hey, basically the Ravens did a whole lot of something with a little bit of nothing. Like we were 31st in what we spent on wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends, I believe, 31st overall. But since 2018, we were ranked 5th,
right?
5th in production.
This is the thing, and I know you're not a fan of him like that because some of the how he comes across. I'm talking about Steve Smith Sr.
Yeah,
Steve said something that's very true. He said how because on his show he said, well, they were asking, well, how do you get better as a receiver? He said the only way you get better as a receiver is if you play. If we rolling out 5 tight ends, which I had no idea why we were doing that. Like sometimes they were going to that who's active. It'd be only 3 receivers that's active.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the 4th receiver that's active, he's playing special teams. I'm talking about Tyler Wallace.
Yeah.
Like he won the wide receiver award in college, and you haven't used him really at all. You understand what I'm saying? The times that he's been out there, he's made a play if the ball's thrown his way. But the point being is that if you rolling out Josh Oliver, Nick Ball, who was barely on the field, you got Likely, who's good, he's really going to be really good. We get a good OC. You got Mark Andrews, and then sometimes you would like I think 1 or 2 games they had Charlie Kohler lined up, and then you got a big fullback. You got Patrick, you got Project Pat out there. He playing like 90% of the snaps. Why?
Yeah, I just I think they got to figure out what they're gonna do with Pat.
Yeah, we got one of the best. We can't say Keith. I wanted to see Keith Washington. We can't. we can't say Williams and T. Martin aren't good at developing receivers because we don't know how they develop them because we don't use them.
That is true.
You understand what I'm saying? On top of not using them, we aren't giving Lamar any pieces. So how do receivers get better? Normally they get better by one being used. Number two, you have a alpha dog that's on top that comes in there that you can learn from. You understand what I'm saying? The funny thing is, this is what's funny to me, and I really want to know how y'all feel about this. Now you know, why every time a receiver leave here and they go to a different team, they start to produce?
I think that, yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think the second they do leave here, Chris Moore was one of the ones who actually went and produced in Houston. He had his first 100-yard game in Houston, which was like
against Dallas.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay, well, this guy's showing he's got a lot of potential, and he's shown what he can do. Mark Clayton was one of those. Even beforehand, when we had Cam Cameron here and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
Mark Clayton goes over to St. Louis at the time and proves that he's one of the best, and he's the best on the roster, which was shocking because it's just like, dude, okay, well, you weren't doing anything in Baltimore, but you come over here and you show up the entire roster within an instant.
Yeah.
I mean, Hollywood, he looked all right, but I mean,
he was getting. I mean, he if anybody was going to get the opportunity to develop, is Hollywood was going to get the opportunity because he was out there. Anybody that was a first round draft pick, I think the time that you and Graven and I were on together, it was like we both all said the same thing. If you're a first or second round pick and you're a receiver, you're gonna get used. If you're more than that, you're not gonna get used. No. I mean, look how long it took for them to start using Duvernay.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right had to say here. He said they had to play Pat so much because the O-line and the right tackle was suspect.
I don't think that's the reason, bro.
That's something I need to look. I thought the offensive line was pretty solid. Now, granted, he was on the ball for a little bit longer than he should have been.
Right.
But I think the offensive line was straight.
A lot of times, Lamar or even when Tyler Huntley was out there, a lot of times they had to hold the ball because nobody's getting open. But again, it's scheme. Let's just use the Super Bowl for example. Mm-hmm. 2 touchdowns.
All flat. Yep, it was flat.
Jokers is wide open.
Cross.
Scheme.
He had him fake the actual reverse, and sure enough, he was wide open. And I told everybody, like, just before the play happens, both touchdowns, I said these are going to be touchdowns to the flats. And my boy Roger's like, how'd you call it? I was like, you can see it set up on the field. I was like, they sitting here trying to guard the entire end zone. All you do is run somebody in motion. Boom. Touchdowns. That's what Baltimore is missing. They're missing things in the flats. They're missing a little bit of West Coast. If you incorporate those things into what is currently in place, which, I mean, we're not even going to know what's going to be in place coming this June. If we get Eric Bieniemy, we still won't know, because while Andy Reid did give him props at the end of the game, saying, "Hey, look, it was Bieniemy who came up with this, with the scheme to actually help bring them back." He gave him credit, but I think that was just like a little sign off, like, "Hey, sign this guy."
So we can get that head. We wanted him to get that head coaching job, but
yeah. And I think Eric Bieniemy, he deserves that, but it's just like right now, all they see right now, everyone sees, even Kelsey right now. Kelsey said it during the AFC Championship win. Hey, I give it up to Reed. Yeah. He didn't give Bieniemy his flowers. Yeah. And now they're trying to give Bieniemy his flowers because they're feeling like, okay, well, he was a part of this, and they're trying to get him a job now. Yeah. Now this is the opportunity for Bieniemy to earn that role, like say, hey, I did this. I helped this team build something from nothing. And hopefully this is in Baltimore as he's able to do that.
Do you think that I got a I don't want to be a pessimist, bro, but I got a feeling he's not leaving. I just got something, especially after winning that game. Mm-hmm. He really did have something to do with that, and whether you want to, whether they want to give him his flowers or not, it's gonna be hard because they looking for him. The only way they're gonna get those comp picks is if he becomes a head coach. The only way you're gonna get those 2 comp picks. You're not gonna get 2 comp picks by him becoming an OC. Because if he comes over here and becomes an OC and then he leaves to go become a head coach, You know what I mean?
I think it's the respect thing right now. I think people
Yeah.
they're not respecting him enough to put him in the seat as the head coach. Why? I'm not sure what's going on in the interview process to where he is messing it up because he's had interviews in Denver, he's had interviews in Houston, he's had the interviews, and then for some reason along the way they say, "Hey, you can't lead men." I don't get that.
Yeah. I'm laughing at Big Reg.
Yeah,
I might be with you on that one, Big Reg.
with the whole it's the offense. I love Hards, but he got to get with the times, or was it
No,
the
no, the last one. The last maybe Richie.
house or?
Going
Okay,
straight
go
to
ahead
the
and
bottom.
go to Lamar leaving the Ravens, and I'm going with him. Right.
Pack my bags too, yo. They don't treat my boy right, man.
I definitely feel some type of way right now about this whole situation. Like when it comes to Lamar's contract, like I don't care what the number is, to be honest. Just get the man the number.
Yes.
Get this man back in the seat, secured with Baltimore for long term. I mean, if y'all agree on $35, that's between you
Yeah.
and Eric DeCosta. You know what I'm saying? If y'all paying him in cupcakes, I don't care. That's y'all.
I don't know if you were able to see the. Were you back when they had the end of the year presser?
I missed it. I think I was actually in the air.
Okay. If anybody saw that sort of presser, you can tell that he was not comfortable. And that's what makes me nervous. EDC was not comfortable. I don't know if he wasn't comfortable with the questions that were going to be asked about him and Lamar,
Mhm.
but in the back of his head, he don't have to say it to the public, but he has to know that he messed up. He has to know he was his intent when he first came in. He said it from the beginning because when he re-signed Chuck, remember Chuck got signed on his third season,
Mhm.
the first full season that he started. He said, "My intent is to try to get things done early
Yep.
to keep this, one to keep the cap space open, but the two to keep our people, our players here."
I think what's going on is it's not fair what's happening right now with Lamar's contract and the NFLPA being so involved. And
Right.
I'll tell you why, because the NFLPA right now is filing a grievance against the rest of the league because they think that all the owners are in cahoots against guaranteed contracts.
Right.
But they're also using Lamar's contract negotiations as the poster child for their own negotiations to get fully guaranteed contracts for the rest of the NFL. So that's going to put a snag on the timeline of Lamar getting his contract until this grievance gets fixed between the NFL and the NFLPA.
Right.
I think that Lamar should be like, all right, look, NFLPA, I appreciate, y'all trying to make me this poster child, but I need to go ahead and get my money and secure my future with my team here and show my loyalty to Baltimore. And I
Yeah.
know people going to be like, well, Lamar don't owe nobody nothing. But at the same time, we love Lamar.
Yeah.
We all want Lamar here. And if the NFLPA is putting a snag on that, then Lamar needs to cut ties with them and get into the room with Eric DeCosta, come up with a realistic number that it works for both of them, like 220 million guaranteed or whatever. With
Yeah.
that, with the last year, maybe a void year or something along those lines to where he can get his money. Eric DeCosta can open up the bag and with Rashadi's blessing, and they can figure out how to move this thing going forward. Because right now, I'm sick of all this trade talk. This
Yeah.
trade talk don't make sense to me right now. Everybody talking all this trade nonsense.
This is another thing that's funny. Everybody keeps talking about, well, okay, they're gonna tag him. We don't have enough money to tag him any doggone way. So however we boil it down, if you don't open up, if you don't get it done, two things gonna happen. You're gonna be starting over. You're gonna be starting all over someplace because you're gonna lose players. I know you can open up cap space and everything like that.
Around and stuff.
Contracts. But I mean, you we if they said they're gonna keep him if they have to, they're gonna tag him and keep him. That tag is 45 million. We only got what 20.
28.
You don't have enough cap space to restructure.
It hurts.
There's no way in the world you're gonna restructure everybody
Yeah.
and bring in other pieces.
I mean, how many times we're gonna kick Ronnie Stanley's contract down the road? How many times we're gonna bring Andrews to the table? How many times we're gonna bring Marlon Humphrey to the table to negotiate to push this down the road? This huge problem that we have.
Mm.
It's nothing makes sense. Let's pay some of these bills right quick. All right, Brooke, she made her first threat of the season or first threat of the off season here. She said basically they got to Friday or she's pulling up. She's let's see what Adidas here, man. It was appreciate Drew, man. So realistically, the OC will be between EB Monken, Canales, or Outen. We have to do some research on these. Like I said, I'm a little rusty, but we'll definitely get back on it. Harbaugh did coach EB in 1999. EB had his legal issues around that period.
Yeah, we don't care. Don't even bring up his past, bro. We good. I mean,
I care about the man we looking at right now. The guy that just got a ring on that finger, you know.
He got 2 of them things.
Yeah, he got 2 for this team. He was a part of the success.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
The past is past, man. He's better than that now.
I'm like, if Andy Reid believed in this guy to keep him along this long, that lets you know that is a seal of approval right there. And what's killing me is that same seal of approval is not flying with these other teams. I don't know why, but I know that this guy is on our doorstep right now and an opportunity to become great because he learned some things from Mahomes. Mahomes may have learned some things from him. It was a learning process throughout between all of them. And if we got a guy who learned from Pat Mahomes sitting here trying to tutor Lamar in how to change this offense, I can see nothing but great things coming from it. And I'm saying this is going to be the guy. I don't see anybody else being the guy. This is going to be the guy. I don't think they're going to hire 2 of the offensive coordinator, 2 of the guys that are in house already. I know they are familiar with the system, but I think they want something different now because they're tired of anything that's got G Rose's name on it.
This the whole holdup. I think everybody's thinking the same thing. Is that if I'm an OC, if I'm coming in there and my name is on the list and I'm being interviewed, my biggest question is, okay, what's going to happen with LJ? What's happening with him? Because if I don't know what's happening with 8, if he's there for a year, that's not going to help me. You understand what I'm saying?
It's not going to help, and they got to change the whole system again, and so it's not going to help things. Big Red, that rumor that about the $200 million came from somebody who wasn't they aren't an inside source.
Yeah.
That came first. It started on some rumors, the NFL rumors page, which I told y'all many times. That's full on cap. Then somehow it got to Ian Rappaport, and Ian was coming up with a guesstimated number, and then somebody tried to concrete it and say it was a legit solid number. They don't know exactly what the guaranteed number they want is. Lamar's like saying he'll say what he didn't get offered, but he won't tell you what is being offered. The negotiations are so tight knit right now. Even blue check marks right now. Like, unless it's coming from Jeff Zrebiec, you're not going to get any contract details until the deal is done, basically.
Don't listen to Jeremy Fowler. Do not listen to that.
Yeah, Ian Rappaport, Jason Locke, Cap for, all these different cats out there, they're trying. They're just poking in the dark, just like we are right now. And you're going to hear all types of different opinions of what you think he's going to get, what should be the number, all these different things. Follow Jeff Zrebiec on Twitter. That is the main Twitter account you need to follow. Anybody else, they throwing salt or they throwing hate or they trying to sit here and spark a fire because that's how they get their money right now because they don't have any other way of getting any type of juice. So let's see. Shane says he thinks he got the money already. This is based off of a Instagram post with Lamar wearing a bag and a purple, I want to say he was wearing some purple sweatpants or something like that. And it basically, they tried to interpret that into him getting the bag. I think Lamar was just hanging out and he had a backpack on front. And he wanted to show his fancy sports car off. That's all I got out of that.
I don't know. Until he changed that profile picture back to a Ravens something.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's blank. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
That profile picture on his gram. Until that's changed back to something I can relate to, I'm like, all right, man, I'm just still praying.
Unless I see him actually show a picture of a Brinks truck and him, or a video of him opening the Brinks truck and then just making it rain or something like that. Okay, then I'll believe it. Right now, I'm kind of not sure what I think about it. Let's see what Shane says. He thinks he got paid already. Adi says the NFLPA is trying to redefine fully guaranteed money as promised money at the signing. Yeah, I think we said this is so they're basically trying to turn it into the NBA.
Right.
And the MLB for that matter. I mean, fully guaranteed contracts for those players there. And the NFL has been owner ran for years.
Yeah.
The NBA and the MLB. Yeah, well, the MLB is more of a balance. It's a decent balance. It's a really good model. But when it comes to the NBA, the players run the show. The second a player says, I want out, they get out. They get to go wherever they want to go. They get to opt out, whatever. And they get to tell owners, like, nah, I'm canceling that. Nah, I don't want that.
They worry. They worry, bro. The NBA don't. I mean, the NFL don't want that to happen. They need. It's still the mentality is still all wrong. Unfortunately.
That's entirely too many players to sit there and try and let run a show. And I hate to say it like that, but it's just entirely too many players. You get one player that is a key critical piece to your organization, and they're not happy for just a little bit of reason, but they signed a deal, and then now they don't want any part of the deal, and so they get to just opt out of this deal. Like it creates a lot of chaos when it comes to organizations. You see a team in the NBA that is phenomenal, and because one player, one key call says, "Oh, I'm not happy," even though I signed a 5-year, $86 million contract or like that. Now I got to go, I got to go figure out how I'm going to put him on a different team because he wanted to be a spoiled child. When he's the one to help me put this entire team together, he was a key call of getting those other players there. Now he just helped me blow up my team. All right, so rumors. Sierra Brooks says all these rumors and May reports are ridiculous. They're just making up things, yes, to get their point across. Yeah, I believe it. I kind of stopped watching the NFL Network as much because of that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Deed says EB as the Ravens OC is win-win. Yes, I cannot wait to see if they announce that. It's gonna be cool.
I don't think I got a feeling. What do you think is gonna come first? Eight or him or the OC?
You said Lamar getting inked, or
Yeah. What you think is gonna come first?
I think it's got to be.
I mean, we know the order. We know the order should be Lamar first, but what do you think is gonna come first?
I think if Lamar has a say so, then it's going to be the OC first, and then ink. Because if Lamar gets inked, and then they just say we're gonna hire somebody who we think fits you best, and Lamar's like, no, can y'all please listen to what I'm saying? I'm trying to grow here as a quarterback, and this is not helping. Then he's not going to want to sign once that OC is there. So as long as he has a say so in who that search is going to be, and hopefully it's Eric Bieniemy. That would be so cool if Lamar endorses Bieniemy. I hadn't seen anything saying he endorses any offensive coordinator right now, but
I mean, they interviewed. He spoke to Kingsbury yesterday, or what was said, but I don't know. We're gonna see how far that goes. I think he wants to. I think like every other OC that really has some quality of being a good offensive coordinator.
mm-hmm.
I think, or has any experience as being a coordinator. Let me say it that way. I think they're all waiting for the same thing. The same with some, but like the interviews. But what's going on with Lamar? What's going on? Like that would be my first question.
Yeah.
After I answer all the questions and whatever they like, all right, we like Cam. This is the second interview. We let you know you got any questions for me. What's going on with Lamar, man? Because that's going to define how far I can go.
Absolutely. And honestly, if I'm Eric DeCosta, if I'm a head coach, I don't know why I just drew a blank, but if I'm John Harbaugh, I'm getting Lamar on the phone. Hey, bro, I got Eric and I got Bieniemy in the room. I got Zimmerman in the room. I got this person in the room right now. They want to know what your future is with Baltimore.
Yep.
Do you want to be a Raven for life? And that's all I need to know. I don't care about the contract negotiations. You and Eric DeCosta can handle that. But we need to know straight up, are you happy here? Do you want to be a Raven for life? You say yes. I get you talk to these guys. Y'all chop it up for about 20 minutes. I even leave the room. And then I let them chop it up, handle their business. And then I already have my answer. Hey, Lamar wants to be a Raven for life. They're going to work on making him a Raven for life. I ain't got to worry about nothing else except for this guy who I'm trying to hire as an offense coordinator. Let's see. Shane says the next 3 days are critical. So I'm trying to figure out why are the next 3 days pivotal, I guess.
Now, since the season is over, everybody's scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a few teams that need an OC. Washington. I think Carolina still needs an OC if they didn't hire anybody. The Texans they just hired old boy from the pass game coordinator from San Francisco. So D'Amico Ryans brought him over. Who else still needs an OC? I think the Jets do, or did they sign somebody? I'm not sure if the Jets still need an OC. But there's a few places that still need an OC. So they trying to get it together.
Let's see. Brooke says,
Put it out there. Put it in the air then. Put it in the air, bro.
all Friday, right? She got the time and everything. I was trying to click on Bucky or on Big Reg because no, not that one. I was trying to click on Shane. Shane was saying fully guaranteed contract versus fully guaranteed money. Fully guaranteed. I don't know. Maybe we said something confusing there. So, I mean, when you're looking at fully guaranteed money, is fully guaranteed contract. That's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you gotta look at it like this here. How much is being put up front whenever those deals go down? If it's fully guaranteed, then of course, then yes, you're getting 100% of this money. But yes, but you're not getting 100% up front. There probably is a signing bonus that's going to give a certain amount of. Now that's probably a good negotiating point as well.
Yeah.
Because some players will get like 130 some upfront signing bonus. And that is that guaranteed money that's coming in. That's not the full guaranteed show of money, but it is just a signing bonus to let you know, hey, you sign right now, and I'll get you $121 million of this $250 million guaranteed or something like that. But
what they kept saying, which we don't know is true, that Lamar was offered 250 for 5 years. It's on the signing bonus. His fully guaranteed money was 133. His total guarantee was only 200, and Lamar turned it down. First of all, that fully guarantee is too low.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. And you giving him total, so you don't get if he get injured, he don't get the total guarantee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if he gets injured, or if they decide to move on from him, you don't get that 200. Mm-hmm. So they gotta be some meat. No one during negotiations, nobody gets exactly what they want. We all know that. Only reason
you got compromised in order to, for the betterment of the team and for yourself.
Only reason Deshaun got what he got is because Cleveland was desperate at the time. They had nobody. You reaching for that soda. I mean, they could have went the route and drafted a quarterback, but I think that they felt that they had a good enough team to compete. They do have a lot of talent over there, but for some reason it's not meshing at all. So that was the reason why they did what they did. Not saying that Lamar doesn't deserve that money, because he does. I'm just simply saying we don't know if he's asking. Everybody keeps saying he's asking for a fully guaranteed contract. We don't know what he's asking for as far as the total, the total amount. If he's asking y'all, if he got 230, give me 230 or give me 250, fully guaranteed. All I know is he was on the Lamar was on the what's my man's name? I can't think of his name right now. The Rich Eisen show.
Yeah.
And Rich said something about 250. He said no, he didn't say that. He said, he said 250, and then he was like, Lamar, did you have to speak to Steve and ask Steve if was it work, if I get this ring, I just open the checkbook up to you. That's what he asked. If Steve said that to him, Steve Bisciotti, he's like, no, he never even came to me about that. He said, but honestly, he said, Mr. Eisen, he said, I think I proved myself already, which is very true. Flacco was not that good.
No, Flacco was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, we gotta remember that.
An 11 touchdown, 0 interception playoff run.
He just had Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off. He had a memorable playoff run. Like same thing. He had the same type of playoff run Eli Manning had. Eli Manning is not that good.
Yeah, they turn into Cinderella teams every time they have to play
Yeah.
the Giants.
So you know what I mean. Eli may get to the Hall before before Flacco because Eli did have some good years where he did make the Pro Bowl a few times.
Yeah.
So he may get to the Hall.
So the case is there for Eli.
So he has somewhat of a case.
Go twice. So I mean, yeah, if you beat the GOAT twice, you got a case.
And you Super Bowl MVP twice.
Yeah.
So he has somewhat of a case, and he has some Pro Bowls. I think he may have made 4. I think that's all. If I'm not mistaken, Kareem McKenzie told me that you just have to. If you make 4, you in consideration. If you're selected for 4 Pro Bowls, you're in consideration for the Hall. It may be a little different now because of mostly is the fanfare, like as far as jokers making a Pro Bowl. But if you are selected, not an alternate, if you're selected for the Pro Bowl, that goes in your resume.
Mm-hmm. Let's move over here to Delicious. He's saying he has a question about how do we feel about Brian Angeliquio from the Vikings offense coordinator. Says the Vikings offense is well balanced. Here's where
the passing game coordinator, right? I think he's the passing game coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm sorry.
I mean, is the Vikings offense, as far as their passing attack, is it that good, or is just Justin Jefferson that magnificent? Because if we bring this guy over here and we're not seeing those same results, we're not seeing those schemes brought up, we're not seeing these playmakers come out here and make those same type of plays because they just aren't Justin Jefferson, do we have a problem then with this guy, Brian? Like, I want somebody who's actually going to come up with better schemes that get players open, that actually provide that open space, that help us do the West Coast, that set up the small to give us the big, and still are able to use J.K. Dobbins in a certain way that makes him great. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this guy. How you feel about Brian?
I honestly don't. I don't know enough about him to have a real opinion on him. I mean, obviously, what Minnesota did this year is phenomenal as far as like offensively. But I think, other than the scheme wise, I think they have they put together a good team as far as weapon wise. Like you have I can't think of number 19's name for some reason. God knows. The slot receiver. What's my man name?
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen. You got Jefferson, of course. You got number 17. Then they picked up somebody else. Oh boy, that was actually he's the 4th receiver. But then you got Hawkinson, the tight end from Detroit.
Yeah,
they traded for him.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cooks in the backfield along with Madison, who's another good running back.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just had they had enough good pieces, to run what they needed to run and make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then then there was some games like the last Green Bay game, they got shut down. So
that's the thing. It's like they got weapons, but at the same time, just like he said, they get shut down. They don't show up sometimes in these prime time moments.
I mean, it was just that particular game. Like that particular game, like you got to also look at the schedule they had. It was very weak. It was a good schedule. It was a very decent schedule because when's the last time they were like playing against top competition as far as because they were like falling maybe they were either 3 or 4 in their division. So then you playing everybody in your conference that's 3rd or 4th because they played the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So they played the Giants, or they played everybody in the NFC. So I apologize about that. So trying to think where they fell that they played. I don't know what they were last year in the division, but long story short, I mean they have a decent passing attack. Like it's decent. I just again I don't know enough about them between that and even the pieces. And when I'm sure the guy came over from the Rams, it's just that you are scheming people open. too. It's another one. They scheming people open, but they have weapons. They have a lot of weapons. Like to me, honestly, that Minnesota offense reminds me of Cincinnati.
Okay, that's
You know, as far
that's
as
a
like
pretty good compliment. Then I mean, if they get an offensive line,
it's the same scheme. It's the same scheme. They're running the same thing. They're not running anything different. They're both off the Zach. What's my man? The head coach at the Rams. I'm drawing a blank tonight, y'all. I apologize.
we'll get back on it, folks. We gonna get on it. Let's see here.
They're both off of the same tree, so
Mhm.
it's a similar scheme. I mean, it's still that Shanahan tree to a degree, but you know they were under damn I can't. What's the Rams head coach name?
Somebody about to mention in the comments here. Let's give him a
You
shot.
got two, huh?
Yes, Sean McVay.
Yeah, McVay. Thank you, Reg.
Thank you, Reg.
Oh,
Thanks.
he don't even help me out over here. He just left me.
All right. I'm just hey, look, I told you I still got jet lag, bro. I still got jet lag.
2 weeks of jet lag. 2 weeks.
Yes, it lasts that long, bro. It do. It do. All right, so there was some
Nah, but,
questions up above on
let's
here.
say,
So Adit, he said, does EB consider Washington knowing that new ownership might Thanos snap the old coaching staff?
mm,
I mean,
and
do you
think about
really want to be part of the Washington football team? Was it the Washington
it.
Commanders?
Man, you've been going that long. The Commanders, brother. The Commanders.
Do you really want to be a part of this particular organization? They're on the turnaround, but I mean, do you want to be part of that turnaround as they're still uncovering dirt and more dirt on this organization? I doubt that that's what you want to put your staple on, especially when this is one of those organizations that does have a lot of turnover. Like, before the Bills were concrete, they were one of those ones that they had impatient owners, they had impatient GMs, they had impatient coaches. Everybody seemed to keep getting fired, quarterbacks, coaches, GMs, all of it. It was just constantly in rotation, and I think that's what's going to happen with these Washington Commanders until they finally are able to concrete everything. And I don't know if Bieniemy wants to be on that staple or be on that to say, hey, this is how I'm going to make my name, or say, hey, I don't want a piece of that because y'all ain't stable.
Yeah, I think I don't know. The only reason he's going to Washington, they're both Ron Rivera and Hobbs are both under the Andy Reid tree, so it's an easy connect. I think he's trying to. If Andy can't help him, because he's on 1 year, like this is the last year of his contract. He did a 1 year, right?
Right.
I think he's trying to get him to someplace to where he can do what he has to do, at least for 1 year. Because let's face it, y'all. If he does come in, even with Lamar doing a long-term deal, I don't expect EB to be here longer than a year because he should be a head coach. There's no reason. I don't care about him calling plays and all that because half of the jokers don't call plays anyway. That we interview. Half of the jokers, and you're a quarterback coach. You ain't calling no plays. You are. Look, inside scoop, y'all. And I mean, some of y'all may not know this. If you are a passing game coordinator, that's just the title that they give you. All you're doing actually is you're backing up the OC and you're giving suggestions. You really aren't coordinating nothing.
No, not at all. You are just
put nothing together. You ain't come up with no passing scheme to give him. You didn't do anything.
I think this is like they have a war room. They basically have a war room.
Right.
And during the planning phases of the week, this is the time you actually get to speak up is during those planning phases of the week.
Right.
And usually it's like, say, you get Monday, it's kind of like more of a rest day / film study day. And Tuesday, that's kind of where you're able to, like, if you have suggestions, now's that time. But on game day, you kind of quiet. You were kind of hushed because they've already developed everything. They've done the walkthrough by Thursday, and they on the plane by Friday and chilling in a hotel by Saturday. But usually that install is Thursday. It's such a critical time. And during that time frame, that's when the pass game coordinator, that's when the run game coordinator, they get to come in and they get to help like choreograph this dance and put it concrete into motion. But Sunday, pass game coordinator ain't doing nothing but, hey, good job.
That's the only reason why I'm like everybody's falling in love with the fact, oh, he's a pass game coordinator, but if he And then it's just funny, they fall in love with that, but then when they find out everybody's going back and forth with EDC, I mean not EDC, excuse me, with Eric Bieniemy, whether he called plays or not. But you still have another face there on the Shanahan. But majority Mike McDonald was the offensive coordinator for uh for San Francisco. You think he was calling the plays, or you think Shanahan was calling the plays?
I think
Shanahan
Shanahan,
was calling those plays.
I think usually when it comes to passing coordinator, that's just a title that's made up for the guy that's probably going to take your job if you screw.
Well, we talking about the pass game coordinator?
Yeah, I think like so. I think it's a legit gig, but at
Right.
the same time, like if I'm an offensive coordinator, let's just say that let's say my coach brings in a
Mhm.
pass game coordinator
Mhm.
that next season. That is nothing. That's nothing but for pressure on my back, saying, "Hey, look, watch your back. You can share and collaborate with him,
Right.
but ultimately, you screw up, he's taking your job."
Well, okay. This is from a couple well-known sources that played the game, and I asked what it was. I was like, what's really the whole thing about the pass game coordinator? Because he's like, listen, that's just a title they are given to give him an extra job. And what you're doing is just really like you watching tape. He watched tape for you, and he like, okay, this team may do this team may do that. Other than you watching tape yourself, if you miss something, it's like if we both in there, just in case I miss something.
Two
You
heads
may
better than one.
So you right. So basically, it's just a title that they made up. They're not calling any plays. They're not scheming up any design. They're not designing anything. All that's designed by the coordinator.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, because if that's the case, if anything was designed when we brought in Keith Williams and T. Martin,
Mm-hmm.
it sure didn't look any different than what was already that G-Ro was doing. You understand what I'm saying?
And the only argument I could say to that is when Marty Mornhinweg was there, and the whole offensive scheme had to get changed up because Mornhinweg was doing a terrible job.
Right.
And Roman actually came in and saved Mornhinweg's
Right.
job.
But he's helped. What I'm saying is that he helped, or he may have helped design certain plays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was obviously a coordinator.
Yeah, he was a run game coordinator. Yeah.
But I'm saying, but he was already an offensive coordinator beforehand, right?
Yeah, so he had the experience.
Like when Jim Caldwell came in there to help out Cam Cameron, he was already. Now that's a different story as far as like when it comes to those two because they've already had experience. So it's like, remember when Jim got there, all of a sudden we were up in the pace as far as like run the whole run scheme or passing. I mean, just the offense itself.
Yeah, they started running more routes to the inside versus the outside because Cam Cameron was running everything to the outside.
Right, but the tempo was very slow.
Mm-hmm.
So when Jim got there, he was showing them what they did with Peyton when he was in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
But if you have no experience as a coordinator, like if you've never been a true coordinator, I'm just going by what's been told to me by people that played in the league. That label is just made up for you to come in. Like if you're the offensive coordinator again, I may give you something. I don't have any experience. I may go through your playbook and suggest things. This might work for this. For this. This may work. That's all I'm doing. I'm not giving you nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's coming from what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unless you say, "Yo, I want you to design something for me and give me something," it don't happen. And then by the time Sunday come or whatever we playing, I'm really not saying much enough. You know what I'm saying? I may help out because I'm probably the wide receiver coach or I'm probably the quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's always like quarterback coach, passing game coordinator, wide receiver coach, passing game coordinator.
Yep.
They just made it like when Williams came in, he's doing half of T. Martin's job. T. Martin is just a wide receiver coach, but Williams is the passing game coordinator, and then he's also I forgot the other label they gave him so he can work with everybody with their routes because this is what killed me. I was like, yo, we got one of the best teachers at route running, period, for anybody.
Yep.
That's why Mark Andrews got better at his route running.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think Demarcus Robinson was a pure like benefactor off of these coaches.
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying. Like we can't say he wasn't because look who's under his tutelage. Devontae Adams, Tariq. You know, just those two alone. That's like you have one of the best, and we couldn't scheme jokers open, meaning that he had nothing to do with the scheme. He just was teaching them how to run routes and try to help them get open. Because obviously, whatever we were running, a lot of times jokers weren't getting open, right? So again, me going off on a tangent about this is the fact that everybody wants to talk about passing game. Oh, he didn't call any plays, or did he call plays? We don't care. This is a great opportunity for him to come in and call plays because everybody, unless you were already a coordinator at that location, didn't call plays. Munkin, I mean, what's my man name? Is it Munkin? Munkin from Georgia. He was the coordinator, so he called plays. You know what I mean? So let's stop worrying about who called plays and who didn't. Let's get somebody here that's going to be great at whatever they're going to do because they obviously they're going to carry whatever they were doing at that location here, and then whatever we want to keep as far as the run scheme, whatever we got from other places, other than what Greg Roman's done, is going to be given to him. So that's how he's going to grow anyway as a coordinator. Go ahead, my bad.
All right, so Delicious says, I would love to have D-Rob back as wide receiver 3 or 4. What do you think about that? I think D-Rob's still a 2, maybe even 1 in our organization. I mean, what do you think there?
I want to. I'm sorry, y'all. I like D-Rob, but I really want to see. I don't think Talon got an opportunity. Like, what is he there for? Same thing with I mean, it took 3 years for Duvernay to get an opportunity. So I'm assuming this is Tylen Wilds' 3rd year. Maybe he'll get an opportunity. Like I just want to see our receivers get developed. I do want us to bring in better receivers. If D-Rob is a bona fide one, then I'd be like, yes. But the fact that he's not, I don't know. I mean, if he's back, I think he's a good player. I think he's a good person as well, from what I see. But if he's back, I'm good with it. If he ain't back, I'm good with it. It don't hurt me either way, D. I'm sorry. But hold on before we go any further, because Delish, I hit him on the DM about this. Who scored yesterday? Kadarius Toney. Who did I argue with Delish on here about Kadarius Toney? He was like, nah, we don't need him.
I think the thing about players, I'm starting to realize this. If you're not happy in the organization,
right,
then and the organization not happy with you, they're going to do whatever it can. It's just not going to be a good marriage, and production is not going to be there.
Right.
Yeah, Kadarius may have had a small attitude problem. He wasn't anything compared to what Odell Beckham was there as far as attitude wise. And in any other headaches in other organizations, they had small disagreements, and obviously Kansas City got over those differences. And they had used him as that extra element, that speed element that they needed. And it was a beautiful marriage that caused them to get a Super Bowl.
And remember, this is the only reason I brought it up, because remember, I don't think Brian Dable actually took the opportunity to get to know who he was. He just already wrote him off. He wrote all of them off unless you're going to fall in line, because he wrote.
It says Thanos snapped the whole wide receiver room.
I'm with it. Because Joe Judge is the one, man. Remember that Dallas game that we kept talking about? Joe Judge embarrassed him for no reason. Like the dude, I mean, you're a young player. Things happen. You know what I mean? And the dude threw a punch at him, and actually, I don't know how he got called last, because the DB threw a punch at him and threw him to the ground.
Yeah.
But the ref didn't see the DB to do that. He just saw what Kadarius Toney did.
Mm-hmm.
To me. But
the second guy, they never see the first guy.
Yeah. You had plenty ample opportunity to catch the first guy. I mean, he was getting busy on Toney as far as like throwing his face mask and that, pulling him down by the face mask and everything. But he didn't throw him out the game. He threw Toney out because he threw a punch, which was weird. They both should have been tossed. But go ahead.
Brooks saying Do, Bait, D-Rob, and Nuke. I want D-Rob back, and I love Dude. I want to see what the heck Bate is going to do in a full season. I mean, right now he's kind of ticked off because people are saying that he has the injury bug, but that's not true. He's been healthy all through his college career. He just has 2 snags this time around. But I think get this guy another shot. I say still look for that opportunity in the first round to bring something in. And also take a look at the shelf life of our corners as well, because we gonna need that extra corner that's gonna be that lockdown. And I like Peters, but he's a little old right now, a little long in the tooth, and it's time to draft that replacement. So there's a couple of options to look at in the first round: corner and wide receiver to look at immediately.
It's going to be one of the two, definitely. I mean, if we're able to trade for Hop or Michael Thomas, I really would love for Michael Thomas to be healthy and come here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he would be a problem.
And
He'd be the next version of Q.
oh yeah,
He'd definitely be the next version of Anquan Bolden.
now that was a legit health concern, right?
Is the health concern once Drew? Why did he all of a sudden start getting hurt when Drew Brees decided to retire?
Yeah.
You
know what I'm saying? No, bro, I'm going to the Bahamas and chill out there for a year. You can see me some jet skis over here.
I can't get my ankle right. I can't get my ankle right. Drew Brees left. I can't get my ankle right. This year,
I'm calling in.
yeah.
Oh, you calling in? I'm calling in. I got you.
Oh, my toe. He could have played this year with my toe. His toe. The turf toe is getting me.
Like, man, who we got? Is that Baltimore on the schedule? Nah.
Yeah.
Better make it. I got Rona.
Yeah.
You what? Yeah, I'm symptomatic, bro.
Yeah. I think I ain't gonna make it back this year. But it's only week 7. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
My pinky toe, it's not working out right now. Got to get a whole full-on 5th-digit arthroplasty. I'm gonna be out for a year. No, what are you doing? We paying you all this money. Let's see here. Brooke says, kind of like Pat last night.
Oh
my God.
What you talking about?
I don't know.
What you talking about, Brooke? What you talking about, the ankle?
Oh yeah, but I mean, Pat got heart. Pat showed hella heart yesterday.
Yeah, Pat.
You saw he got rolled up on, and just that. I mean, high when it comes to sprains, it's very sensitive, and
he wasn't coming out this game. I was like, man, just go ahead and shoot it up.
Yeah, just go ahead and get that man give him his flowers, because that dude is falling.
Suck it up with this ring. I had my foot up with this ring on my finger.
They said it might mess up his golf season, but his golf off season, but
he'll be all right.
He'll be okay with that. Holding those 2 rings, that 2 MVPs, like that boy is looking solid right now. Yeah. Granted, he could have won that game without the refs, and the refs still, they had their little 2 cents in there that last 2 minutes of the game.
Look, I know everybody bringing up the ref, the hold, or whatever.
Yeah,
that defense was still in Philly. They didn't take the trip. I don't know what is as good as that defense is supposed to have been.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get on the plane. They showed up. Maybe the bodies did, but the spirit didn't.
It was there in spirit. That was about it. It's like, look,
you ain't getting not one sack.
Not one.
Yeah,
on a guy with a jacked up ankle. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, not one sack. And y'all like number 2 in pass defense.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
What she said, that defense is on some BS. She said the refs controlled the game, or the refs determined the game. I don't care if that was one play. I think the refs did a solid job for the most part of the game, and then it just happened to be that one play with the snag on the hole. Even the player admitted that he got caught snagging the jersey. He admitted in the presser. So I mean, the refs may have had a little bit to do with the game. But ultimately, Pat was on the drive, and he was on rampage, and I think he still could have got the job done without them.
Yeah.
Let's King Vino. What's happening, man?
What's up, brother?
He said they definitely juiced him with something. He was crying on the couch, shoulder, and it came out.
Like
nothing happened.
Yeah. Look, this 30 minutes. 30 minutes gave him time to seep in. Yeah, he had plenty of time. Go ahead, let her perform another song while this Let his drug kick in.
So, all right, so they I guess I should give a shout out of 2 Ravens that got a ring yesterday, or former Ravens. So you got Orlando Brown Jr., Zeus got a ring, and then you got Williams.
And Big Baby. Shout out.
Shout out to Big Baby, man. You know, and I think it's unfortunate for us because we dropped off a guy that, you know, he still had decent talent, but it was just the injuries were continuing to stack up, so we could not continue to roll with him, especially when we had talent waiting to be on our defense. Yeah, with Williams. Yeah. And I think, you know, we had a really good year for as far as the defense, and it was because of such a solid defensive line and good corners, good secondary, and even the young guys that are learning to be able to face Jamar Chase and give him a run for his money before, you know, Jamar ultimately took over the show in that final game before the playoffs. Like, you could see, like, our corners were learning and getting better, play by play. Let's see here. Wait, Big Nana said. Wait, Nana says happy for Big Baby and OBJ in the Super Bowl win. Okay, yeah.
Rave.
Said he could have put Juju in a chokehold and I wouldn't have cared. Don't make that call then. Oh, bro.
You're gonna say something and guess what's gonna happen? Juju gonna be a Raven. Then what you gonna do? Then we gonna do, bro?
Please don't make Juju Raven. I don't want to see no dude to this dude TikTok dancing all over the place. And then
stop TikTok dance. He ain't doing it no more.
He ain't doing it no more? I could have sworn him got together. They were doing that TikTok dance, man.
He ain't doing it since he got mauled that time. He ain't doing no TikTok dances. Who were they playing? Was they playing Buffalo when he got mauled? He has done a TikTok dance since.
I thought he did a TikTok dance the second he got into KC.
Nah, he ain't doing it. Nah, I don't think so.
I'm sure he was walking into the airport, or no, he was coming to the Chief State. He said something about "I'm coming," and it was a TikTok, and I think he did a dance or something.
Yeah, Andy Reid was like, "Hey, you gonna be TikToking over here?"
Right, so look here, like, okay, play. Leave all that back in Pittsburgh, where the heck you came from. All right, so Brooke is throwing shade. Yeah. So he quit TikTok. He joined the Girl Scouts.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
You out of control. You be going heavy, or when the hate come out with you go heavy on it. Heavy.
All right, cool. So we got a guy coming to our show. You know, with the NFL draft coming up, one of the guys who he helped start the Couch Rider Report company with me. He's going to be coming on the show just to chop it up once, maybe twice, because he's just a draft expert now. This guy's grinded hard. We gave him a shot with Couch Rider Report, and he took that shot and ran with it. His name is Damian Parson, and Damian is now a blue check verified on Twitter. He's got over 10,000 followers, and he now works for the Draft Network. And this guy like draft is his Christmas. Like, I used to treat it like my Christmas, and I used to do the tape along with it, and I still can. But Damian takes it to a whole nother level. So follow this guy on Twitter, Damian Parson. He'll be on the show, I want to say, within the next couple of weeks. We'd love to have him on here, just chop it up with him a bit. He's going to tell us about some of these things that we want. We're talking about wide receiver. We're talking about corner. You know, but there may be other positions that we may be looking into. Maybe even backup quarterback, you know, because of the fact Snoop is a hot commodity and people might start believing in Snoop and giving him an opportunity to compete elsewhere.
Yeah, as well.
Huh?
Snoop's a free agent.
Yeah. So there may be opportunities there to pick up another signal caller, because we got Anthony Brown and he's straight, but we still want to see more out of him. But maybe bringing in another signal caller, Damian will be able to explain some of those things as we go forward, as we get close to the draft, because he has studied since the beginning of last year's draft. That's when he starts his film study. He's putting up plenty of film on tape on each one of those. He even made mock drafts from the second that the other draft was over. And he just continued to look at more and more film. He actually went to the Senior Bowl recently, and he's also jumping in on the Combine. So I'm looking forward to seeing his analysis. I'm looking forward to us just chopping it up. And if y'all got questions, of course, hit us up on our Twitter, and we can help answer some of those questions for you as well. We'll take a couple more questions, and then we'll just go ahead and wrap this show up here if y'all got some questions here. So Chris is asking about Girl Scouts. I'm not sure, but no, he's saying clowning with the Girl Scouts.
The book said Juju.
Oh, Juju joined the Girl Scouts. And oh yes, because of the outfit that he was wearing.
I didn't see it.
Oh, it was basically like a kilt.
Chill. That's enough.
He's like, pause. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
He
enough for me.
was wearing a kilt to the
Nah.
daggone game, man. And now he's Super Bowl champion. My goodness.
Rings and things.
Says TikTok or not, EDC couldn't get him and Oversure could have used him. Yeah, so they could have used him basically. So it was a skirt. He ain't Scottish.
You're lying.
Oh my gosh.
Brooke right on that one though. I ain't even go. Brooke, you got it. You got it all day. You got it all day with that one, bro. Horrible. Just straight horrible.
So from the crowd, let's go back to this whole offensive coordinator thing. Just to hit it one more time over top of the head. Who would you like to see as the Ravens offensive coordinator? If let's just say Eric Bieniemy is not on the table, I think that's kind of the ideal pick. Let's say he decides to go with Washington or something. We throw a fit. Who do we count? Who do we come back with? Do we hire within the house, or do we go with other names? Maybe the Georgia's offense coordinator, maybe the Vikings. Who are we rolling with as our next guy? Oh, and while we wait, we can hear some more Brooks' calamity here. She says, "I'm not even surprised that he was twerking on TikTok." See, I told you he wasn't done twerking. He wasn't done with the TikTok. He was twerking on TikTok.
You mean he was working?
Yeah.
I can't come here. Nah. That's too much for the kid, bro. I don't want no moist dudes on the team. No disrespect, all due respect. I got no respect.
No,
No moistness on the team.
no, so you got two. You can't do the third, right? Like on the video, it was like,
Yeah.
What?
All that moistness gotta go, man.
Oh my gosh! All right, D says Monken or Canales. I think
Gonna be able to get nobody from Philly, Reg. That ain't gonna happen.
So we get nobody from Philly. Okay.
We can't get nobody from Philly. Johnson about to be the OC there.
Okay.
And I think one of the pass game coordinator, whoever was behind the OC, is going with my man to Indianapolis. We ain't gonna be able to get nobody from Philly, bro.
All right, so I tell you what I'll do. I'm going to probably spend the next 2 days going into film study on both Monken and Canales, and we'll chop it up. That'll be our next topic of offensive coordinator of these two and what they can bring with their systems and how successful or unsuccessful they are. Where these what the variances is between them and strengths and weaknesses. We'll get into that. Let's see. Nana says Eagles wide receiver coach or Bieniemy. Chris says you want Kurt Warner.
Oh, buddy, back in the building.
Oh, here he is. Here he is.
All the haters.
Oh my gosh. So let me tell you about this guy. So I'm deployed, so I can't really comment much. I can scroll through the comments and stuff. And all I see on this trash talk page for the AFC North page is "We Stand with Lamar" campaigns the entire time and it's Wilbert leading the charge. He's holding this tissue box as he's standing in front of different monuments all over the world. And he is campaigning left and right for Lamar Jackson to be signed. And I'm like, what is going on? I was like, did he turn into an actual Ravens fan or what?
Wilbur, what's up, brother?
Oh my goodness, Wilbur, you a fool with it, dog. Funniest daggone page I've ever been on was this AFC North. I think it's the AFC North Smack Talk or War Room. It might be AFC North War Room. But Wilbur will troll everybody on. If you brand new there, make sure you don't wear your feelings on your sleeve because Wilbur will get under your skin. That's what he does. He's really good at it. He's a lot better at you and whatever you're doing.
The hashtag we stand.
Oh my gosh. Let's see here.
Chris said Tony Romo stop.
He said Kurt Warner, and then he said Tony Romo. Oh my god! Wow. And Brooke says she's only accepting EB. That's it.
But she's contradicting herself because you just said you don't want none of Harb's friends. But guess what EB is? EB is one of Harb's friends. He's
another friend.
You gotta make up your mind. You don't want him there? You want him? You don't want him?
She'll be ready to kick him out the door next week, kind of like how she was about G-Ro. She was just hurtful with G-Ro. She had kicked G-Ro out years ago. It was hurtful. I can't believe it. In fact, she's the reason he possibly got fired. I'm gonna hold that against you, Brooke. I'm a little torn right now. I'm a little hurt. No, I'm kind of glad the guy's gone. We needed a change. Byron Leftwich would be a good one as well, but sometimes you got to know, like, was it more Brady or was it more Byron? The Ravens have a previous love relationship with Byron because they wanted to draft him instead of Kyle Bowler back in the day, and they got stuck with Bowler because something got snagged on the trade process or whatever. So I could see that previous relationship, them wanting to try and rekindle something there because there was just some type of connection there, and they'd want that back. Let's see. Brooke says, "Nah, as long as it's not one of Harv's friends." That's what you were saying here.
Yeah, EB is one of Harv's friends. You gotta make up your mind.
Brooke saying she got blocked from the AFC North. What you do? You always on suspensions. Why are you always saying so much crazy? She always like 30-day ban, and then of course I'm one of the admins for her page, and the page is sending me comments saying that this is content that we're recommending you remove from the page. And whose name is on it? Brooks. Oh my god! Oh, Brooks said she said you was a hoe.
But how friendly? But how friendly? He used to coach him.
Oh my goodness!
He used to coach him. But how is it? And I'm sure you built a friendship from there. And plus, they both under Andy Reid. They under the Andy Reid tree. So that's how friendly. You're always doing something.
It's sensitive. It's not that sensitive. You get constant bans. I'm having to run the page for you behind the scenes. You talking about you because there's stuff like this. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's see what Donna said. She said Romo almost let it slip the other night, saying, "You see them too." Oh, I didn't. Now, what? Hold up. Out there, and it changed it real quick. And he should have been fired from the network and this racist. Oh wow, Tony racist? That's I don't know.
I don't want to call him racist when he's Mexican. But go ahead. That's what I'm sorry, not a rave. I don't know if you knew that, but it's kind of hard.
I mean,
when did he say that? What game was this?
Oh no, but man, I'd like to hear the clip on this. I don't remember any of this.
I didn't hear this at all.
Maybe that's because I mean the Super Bowl announcers was
that's Fox.
Yeah.
Rome's not on Fox.
That's what I'm saying. But like to have such lame Super Bowl announcers, what's going on with that too? But yeah, like Romo.
Who was he calling the two? Who was he calling?
I'm like, man, he pulled a page out of Chucky's book, man.
Hold on. Talk about did he? I'm sorry, this should be funny.
Oh my god! Like, how did he?
Hold up. Was he talking about the announcers saying you see these two? Was he talking about the announcers?
Oh, she said she's gonna try to find the clip. Please do. Okay, so this is what you do. Post it on my Twitter.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, find that clip, post it on my Twitter. We'll bring it up the next show.
Who was he talking about? Was he talking about the announcers, Nana Reid? What was he talking about? I need to know now.
You got me thinking about it. Anybody else? Does anybody else remember this happening?
Yeah. The players?
Yeah, Brooks saying the players. I don't know.
What was this though? What was he talking about?
That's just crazy. Like like some people you just don't see it coming out of. Like that's crazy. Oh well.
I don't know exactly where Romo's from. I do know he's Mexican. You know he's third generation. I just know that for a fact. But I'm trying to.
Chris is saying he was talking about two defenders.
Two defend. Or what? Are we talking about? Kansas City when Kansas City plays Cincinnati, or
that's got to be because that's the only. I think that's the last time he did an announcement, right? Because he didn't do it in the Super Bowl.
It would have to be.
And Nana saying it was about the players, but at the same time, it's just like it just seems like it's out of character for Tony to say something like that.
It would be out. Honestly, anybody that's announcer or whatever, regardless of their nationality, it should be out. It should be out of character. All of them. Like you shouldn't. That shouldn't even be slipping.
Yeah,
Like,
especially when you a quarterback, and majority of your targets, like 90% of your targets, are African American.
no. I'm not even referring to that. I'm just saying, even if he was black and he almost slipped and said it, you the professionalism. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like,
it's really gotta. You really have to have this programmed into your everyday language if it's going to come out.
like I said, the man is Mexican, so that's why I saw for me to call him a racist because I don't know. I don't know what is going on.
Big Red said he just sent it to my Twitter in a DM. Let me see if I don't know if I should play this on here. So we'll take a look at it.
Well, he didn't say it. He almost said it. She said.
Oh, I said, we'll see what Big Red said.
What game was this? This is Cincinnati, Kansas City, right?
I guess so. All right, so we have a clip, and this is actually on YouTube.
Y'all about to make the Reverend come out.
Extra yards, the tough yards, the finish on the play. Right there, you got three. You talked about this is the best tackling. Nervous like it was a game.
What is going on?
Hold on, let me see the play because I now remember that. I'm sorry, I don't even want to laugh, but I'm trying to figure out
What is going on?
how to say it.
What is going on?
Hold on. I know my name is like, yo, this is crazy. Hold on, man. This ain't funny. I gotta get serious, yo.
How did? Oh, I don't get it.
You got me on the gram, Big Red. You got me on Instagram. Is that hold up? Hold up. Gram up there, yo. So y'all can follow me on the gram so we can get this right. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean,
I'm sorry. I should maybe I'm
not trying to be his PR person or anything like that, but I mean, people really mess up, and you can see he tried to clean it up.
Yeah, I don't think he meant that. That's an I, capital I. But no, it's not funny. It ain't funny, Nana Rave. It ain't funny. I'm not super sensitive, even in this point in age and this.
I think it's like
I'm just not super sensitive to anything.
Yeah, I think I'm at one point.
It's kind of hard for me to be like angry. I don't know, and maybe he was. I think he was talking about I'm really thinking he was trying to talk about a play. I don't think he was trying to just call them like the N word just to be like, oh, like I don't think that's what it was. But the fact that it slipped the way it did, if you didn't know any better, it would. Even if I don't care if he was black, I still would have laughed. It's just I don't know. For me, I don't get offended by anything.
I mean, for me, that the word didn't have any power over me. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have any power, especially in my. And if I go home to Louisiana and I walk into the house, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's probably gonna fly about 5-6 times that evening as a term of endearment between family members. And it's just weird because my wife is sitting here and she's Caucasian, so she's sitting here like.
See, I should be laughing and stuff like this, but this is funny to me, though.
So you sit here, and of course the kids are sitting here like.
I'm not trying to clean it up for him. I'm just trying to figure out where mentally where he is. I know he's excited. I'm trying to see I just can't. Yo, I don't know.
Here's the other side. Remember we talked about me playing amateur football, right?
Right.
And so when I used to play amateur football, that term was tossed around by everybody, and I'm talking about there was no line. There was Mexicans yelling it, there was white people yelling it, there was black people yelling it.
Yeah.
We on the field and constantly they sit here pointing across. You see them over there? Them blank this, that, and that. They probably yell it 15, 16 times, and then they have a team prayer right after.
Yeah.
You're like, what is going on?
You in the South. Nana Ray, please forgive me for laughing. I laugh and stuff because I can't get angry at foolery. Not unless it's like if he slipped all the way out and said it,
Yeah.
then I would be like, my man, like, come on.
Yeah.
But the fact that he caught himself
Yeah.
going into like, you gotta feel like Tony might be one of them dudes that I grew up in. I'm from
Didn't
Jersey.
Tom Brady say it once too?
He just sound like one of them dudes that might be like that might be what he does like with his boys, like, and his boys might be black and he might have grew up like, again, he's Mexican, so I don't know where he's from exactly. I know he's from the Midwest, I believe. I'm not sure. Maybe that's where college was, but he might have grew up around that, and he may have had a flash. I don't know. I don't want to justify it. I just think no, it's not okay. It wouldn't have been okay if he was black. That's put it that way. It's not okay if anybody says it.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a professional forum. This cannot be your normal language as you come out. Like you got to clean it up. You got to be,
Big Red. That's what I'm thinking though. I'm gonna stop messing with Big Red.
Wait, what Red say? I think the real question is it going to be the A or the E? Oh, boy.
Yo, I'm done. Yo, we done for the night.
Oh my God. The Brady definitely said I can't remember one. All right. Look, folks, we had an hour and 30 minutes. I mean, Brooke should be ringing the timer right now. Oh my gosh. But I think we there. We got to end this thing.
Yo, Big Red, we right here, son. We right
here. I was thinking it, but I was like, I'm going to say nothing.
Nana Ray gonna be mad at me. Nana Ray was mad at me. I'm sorry. I love you, Nana Ray.
Oh my God.
Nana Ray, I know you old school because you got the Nana Ray name.
We gonna pray tonight.
Please, all respect. I will never be disrespectful. I just don't allow anything to.
Yeah, it just you can't let these things steal your joy. You know,
right.
we sitting here as 2023.
Let me say this real quick.
We've come so far as a country. We've come so far as a people.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we got to let some things just roll off and keep rolling because of the fact that Tony didn't say it all the way. He didn't. We recognize that this word is out there. There's other hateful words, hateful slurs, terms out there, especially even more towards different communities. And this one still has a certain power over certain people, right. But hopefully it doesn't have that power over you. And I hope that we're able to embrace each other in love and still in a spirit of forgiveness. That's a big key is a spirit of forgiveness when it comes to these things. Like you even see at the high school and college level, and even at the pros. Josh Allen, he dropped this on his Twitter a few years ago before he was drafted.
Right.
And they tried to hold it against him.
Right.
Years later, when he was a teenager who made a mistake. There's a high school kid who was I think he was a 5-star recruit, or was it a 4-star recruit? He got dropped from Florida for his scholarship. And then he got recruited by an HBCU because they saw that it was a mistake. They saw a talent level of a kid who made a mistake. And that's the thing, that's where we need to be at right now is people are going to make these mistakes. It's what they do after that is what makes them the person that they are.
Can I say this one thing? In like you said about the environment, I mean, he was talking about the 3 black players. Well, now I understand what you're saying. Again, I'm on a serious note about it. For it to roll that easy, you had to grow up in that type of environment for it to roll that easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But for me as a person, I know it's a new day and age and everything. I'm young, but I grew up around a lot of older people in the fact that nothing doesn't like you gotta have tough skin. And then if you think about the comedy, just comedy, and I'm very silly. I'm silly. I'm just think about comedy wise about all the stuff in the past compared to now. You can't say half of the stuff that you did in the past, even on records. When you're doing music, that you could say it back in the past, you would never say it now.
Yeah, like listen to a Juvenile video and be like, yeah, this is totally.
Yeah, you say the F word now, it's wrong, and
Yeah,
If y'all don't know what the F word is and think about like homosexuals, like if you say the F word is wrong, everybody's very sensitive about everything.
Yep.
Now I would be sensitive if whether he was black or white or Spanish, it doesn't matter. Him being in that professional setting, him saying that about the players is all together wrong. It wouldn't matter. My thing is what I'm saying is for myself, like, and I've said this to people plenty of times. It's very hard, especially for teenagers. Just piggybacking off of what you said. It's very hard for teenagers because, especially at this point in time, because all the music, nothing's clean. Everything is raw, and every quote unquote rapper that can rhyme, not all of them.
It's from Wilbur.
Every quote unquote rapper that can rhyme drops the N bomb a million times. So hip hop is I'm just using hip hop for example, it's so big, every nationality hears it. And they almost think it's okay to say because you're rapping along with the song because that's what the person said in the song. And if you don't want them to say it, you got to stop saying it yourself. Yes. Now on to the part of me, growing up the way I grew up in Jersey City. I'm from there, New Jersey, if you don't know, obviously. I grew up around tons and tons of, nationalities. The thing is, you almost it's like cracking jokes. It's like you get tight to it. Like if it doesn't affect you here, if you're not going, don't point the finger if you're not going to do better. Put it that way.
Yeah.
That's where I can say it without going into a big story. And you're absolutely correct, right that he shouldn't have said it. I feel bad that I laughed because I thought it was hilarious, but because I thought it was hilarious because he caught himself. That's what made it funny to me. And then I was thinking the same thing Reg was thinking: is it with the ER or the A? But I'm just me being silly and trying to laugh it off because if you caught it, then you caught it enough that you knew that you were saying something wrong. At least that to me that shows some type of respect.
Yeah, self-checking.
You know what I mean? He checked himself, so that shows some type of respect. If he didn't care, there's plenty of people that don't care if they say certain things, and they're not going to apologize about it. Like John Gruden didn't apologize about the joke, but he
apologized for half the stuff he did wrong.
Yeah, all the stuff that he did, he didn't apologize about it. He felt like, we all cracking jokes and saying negative stuff about that's just what it was.
He was just mad he got caught. All that information
That's all that was.
exposed.
But
he felt that he was the scapegoat when there was a lot more raunchy, crazy stuff going on those emails.
And again, it's not. What's funny though, he's not the first person to actually catch themselves. There's been black players that have retired players that have caught themselves during interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Almost said it. I'm just for example, Plexico Burris. He was getting interviewed on ESPN. This was back when he got caught because of the gun. He went to jail. I'm just using him as an example. He went to jail. He came out. So ESPN is they're interviewing him. I don't know if the lady was black or white. I can't remember. I know it was a female. She was interviewing him. He's talking. He's like, I have to look around. I'm like, I'm locked up with all these. I mean, he caught himself saying it. Like this is this is live. You couldn't edit that out because it was already live. It was live.
It's supposed to be an 8-second delay, but
no way you gonna catch that 8-second delay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, Nana Raven's upset with me. But I'm just saying, like, people do it, regardless of the situation, regardless of the nationality, it shouldn't happen. Period. Not in a professional setting at all.
Right.
And I'm glad he caught himself, if anything. But that's all. Just again, I can't get. I don't know. I'm just never gonna get too angry about foolery.
Oh yeah, I fully agree. I think when it comes down to it, I mean, we gotta have us and as I guess media personalities or like that for us to get if we get hot about it, and of course it's going to actually trickle downhill into our audience and stuff. So we're trying to have that light heart within those things because we don't want to be a like full on animated and starting a full on Million Man March based off of something that could have been said, but was caught. Just know, like I said, we're gonna have that. We're gonna.
Reg is right. Reg is right. But I'm not.
Oh, what you say? What Reg say?
He talk about Booker T. And Hulk Hogan, he said when he said the same thing. I remember that. That's funny. I remember that, but I remember him saying something like that to The Rock.
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan. He slipped a couple of times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
and it's like
don't get too tight about that, Nana. Let it go.
Remember that, like these things, even when people make these mistakes, this is not their entire book. This is one chapter of their book. Don't look at them as the entire person. Yes, it does give you an opportunity to look at who you're dealing with, and maybe some of the things that the examples that you thought this person may have been is not exactly what you thought it was, and it gives you an opportunity to review that. But don't look at that as the whole person. Have that forgiveness, allow them that opportunity to recover and make that right. Anywho, I think we sit here at 141, bro.
Yeah, we gotta go. I gotta get my butt up and
we gotta get to it, man.
Getting earlier and earlier clients.
I know.
Please follow me on Instagram, y'all, because I'll let y'all know when I just started the show as far as Chop It Up with Kam Ru. I'll leave it in the story when I'm having my next interview. It will be this week. I want to bring in this makeup artist. Is between her and another martial artist. But if you get an opportunity to go to my page or go to my channel, rather, you'll see the interview with my coach. His name is Light Burley, he's one of my teachers. I learned 52 blocks, one of the martial art styles I learned. It was a pretty good show. He talked. He can talk about some good stuff. And we had a good time. We also talked about hip hop. I got to figure out this man's schedule so I can grab him before it's too late and get him on the interview.
Absolutely, man. Got to definitely get on it, man. We got to build.
We got to chop it up, and y'all can come in live and you can really get all in this business.
And we are definitely we're on that road to 2,000, folks. We got back. Now it's time to get back after it. Like I said, I appreciate y'all rocking with us. Thanks for tuning in to that home of original sports perspective, from our couch to yours. This is your couch rider Raven. It's my main man Kam Ru. We saying, hey, y'all take care. Peace out. Thanks for coming back and joining us. Peace.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Couch Rider. We gon' ride out. Couch Rider. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though.